Yo, it's Tavan, aka Teddy Crucifix, aka your pastor's favorite rapper. We got Byron L Cogdell on the drum machine, and he's the pastor, I'm the rapper.
Bro, why you always say drum machine? This ain't no drum machine.
What is it?
That's a podcasting machine.
All right, we got Byron L Cogdell on the drum machine.
Bro hit me with the Bywin. He called me Bywin.
Let it slide. But yeah, we here. We got a new setup.
Yeah.
We ain't quarantining no more. We supposed to, but
We should be.
we here.
We broke the laws of quarantining for this guest that we have today.
You know what I'm saying? But he quarantining. He's socially distancing away from us. From us, he is.
Oh, from us. Yeah.
He takes it so serious. He's in a whole nother state.
Yeah.
So we was gonna fly him out. We was gonna flew him out first class.
He was gonna get flued out, but he didn't even want to.
He didn't want to. So he was like, nah, I gotta respect, the social distancing law. So yeah.
Yeah. So every once in a while, man, we want to be a podcast that is just being authentic, and we're not gonna go out, at least right now, and try to get interviews and stuff with people who we don't know and jump into things that we don't really know about, because we're not the media. We're just people who like to talk about these particular issues. But where we already have relationships, we will take advantage of those relationships. And we got a brother on here that y'all have heard from before, but we wanted to make sure we gave him his due, gave him his flowers while he could smell them. What Noriega be saying? Give him your flowers while you can smell them. Something while you... Oh, you don't watch that. Never mind. But anyway, man, roll out who we talking to today.
Hey, man. So listen here. We got the illustrious. The special. Bethune-Cookman Wildcat. Mountaineer.
Mountain lion.
African American Christian hip hop. Lamar Riddick.
Yes, sir.
We have Lamar Riddick here today. Now, for the people that's saying, who is Lamar Riddick? You about to get to know him.
I hear a whole lot of yap. I see a whole lot of capping. Gotta get free of this noose. I gotta go and get loose. I ain't got nothing to lose, so I ain't got nothing to prove. It's Riddick.
That was for you, because you said ones and twos.
All right, you got it. But Lamar Riddick, what's up, big dog?
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, man. We just happy to be here like you. You got to be, hey, move your fist so we can see your smile.
I know, man. You got some pretty teeth. Come on, man.
Nah, man, let the people know who you are. I mean, like Byron said, we already talked to you before, but I think it was over the phone. So
yeah.
Like people, they
didn't get to see your face. They didn't get to experience the beauty that is a part of your facial structure. So.
No, man. Thank you guys for having me on. My name is Lamar Riddick. I am originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Attended Bethune-Cookman University, was in the marching band there. Relocated to Morgantown, West Virginia after graduation, where I currently serve as a program assistant for the WVU School of Music. And Christian hip hop artist, married, and just been making moves, man.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. You gave the whole mini rundown. I'd love to ask you more questions about that. The first time I met you, we already told the story, but the first time I met you was on the campus of Bethune-Cookman, I think, and then at church, a church that we attended at the time. And one of the things that I connected with the most is, one, you are from Fort Lauderdale, but you also have North Carolina connections, right?
Yes.
Tell us about those.
Yeah, so I was born in North Carolina. I was raised there with my mom and my grandma. Pretty much from first grade up until like 8th grade. But even then I was back and forth between Florida. Like 3rd grade I was in Florida, 4th grade Florida, 5th grade Florida, 6th, 7th North Carolina, 8th back to Florida, 9th. It was crazy. But man, a lot of my close family is in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. So definitely shout out to the 252 for me.
Yeah, man. They ain't want you to go to Elizabeth City State?
No, man. I had to go to the other one. I had to go to Bethune, man. My mom actually worked there for 8 years, I think.
Yeah. What's interesting is, man, you Elizabeth City State has a music tech program too. I know that because they tried to get me to come to Elizabeth City State. They tried to sell me on that. They were like, look, man, you could be a drum major and you could be like one of the lead people in this Elizabeth City State music tech program. And I was like, man, ain't nobody moving to Elizabeth City to go to college.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I guess, and another fun fact too, and I'm pretty sure Lamar remembers this, but he was the first Christian hip hop artist I met locally. And do you remember this, bro? It was at the talent show, and I just started doing
Yes,
Christian
bro.
rap.
I never forget that. I would never forget that.
And that's where we met, and he was a student at Cookman then. So
yeah,
man, that's why I met Lamar at.
That's dope. So, bro, how did you get into Christian hip hop? How did you get into hip hop? Period. Like, you know, Ty tells his story. Big influence on him was Biggie.
Yeah,
which was crazy because he couldn't even listen to Lil Bow Wow, but he could listen to Biggie. Or
I wasn't supposed to be listening to Biggie. Yeah.
You know, and then for me, like I've been in hip hop. I mean, not in hip hop, but I've been a fan of hip hop probably since I was like 5. But like, man, how did you get introduced to hip hop, and then how did you kind of roll into the Christian hip hop space?
Man. So originally, I go back to it. My cousin Jamie, he would play hip hop like back then. You know, you had it wasn't a Walkman; it was CD players then. But you know, CD players, and we'd be like taking these family trips, and he'd always be playing me like Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was on, and different music like Master P and all that. So that's when I was exposed to it. But then once I started listening to it, like my favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying, before I got saved, of course, but was 50 Cent. Like I've always loved 50 Cent. Like just his rawness, his ruggedness. He wasn't trying to be nobody else. He wasn't trying to be cute. He just was him. And once I got saved, you know, my uncle really just took me under his wing and just kind of like shepherded me. He was like, look, I know you love, you know, rap, you know what I'm saying, but the stuff that they're talking about is not going to be pleasing to the Lord. And he kind of discipled me with that. And I was like, well, shoot, what the crap am I supposed to listen to? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like no other stuff. And he sent me a Cross Movement CD for like my birthday. And bro, I wore that CD out, boy. I wore it out. And Fanatic was my favorite because I love his wordplay and how he would like have you thinking on every, bro. I love Fanatic, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing about him. And so that's how it took off, man. You know what I'm saying? Just my uncle being obedient and refocusing, you know, my gift onto music that glorified him.
Yeah. You know, it makes a lot of sense that, you know, your first introduction into Christian hip hop is Cross Movement. Cause I feel like now the dots are starting to connect for me. Like I hear your music, I hear what you're putting into the music and what you want people to get from the music. And now that I hear Cross Movement as an influence, I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Cause you don't, I mean, for anybody who hasn't heard Riddick's music, Lamar Riddick's music, it's not, he ain't playing around with the, he's not sprinkling a little Jesus in there. It's not laced with Jesus. Like it's Jesus music. Like it's about Jesus and he's getting right to it when it comes to that. So Cross Movement makes sense, man. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I guess in the high school, well, you told us how you got into rap, but like, were you in band in high school or even middle school? Like, how did that get started? Because I know being in the band was a big part of, you know, your musical journey. Yeah.
So when I was in Carolina, I was in band probably in what grade was that? 6th grade. You know, I've always loved instruments. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to play the drums originally, but I actually ended up playing trumpet 6th grade year because my teacher, she was like, hey, if you want to play drums, you got to play a wind instrument first, which is pretty dope. And once I moved to Florida, I came a little bit late. I couldn't join band because I moved in the middle of the year, something like that. And then Piper High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they had a couple of seniors, or upperclassmen rather, come out, make a presentation about why you should join, you know, band in high school. And they played. And I was like, oh, bro, I'm about to be on this drum line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely want to be on this drum line. And, you know, I've been banging on pots and pans since I was young and stuff. And so anyway, went to Piper High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I auditioned for, you know, the band, got in that. I pretty much started off as, to me, I felt like I was the worst player. What people say I wasn't, but I felt like I was the worst player on the drum line. Like, I couldn't really lead music like that. And by the time senior year, I was a section leader, best musician in the school. And yeah, I was in the band, chorus, drama, glee club, gospel choir, like everything in the arts, man. It was amazing.
Hold on, man. You're not finna run past that. Did you know
That boy was in the Glee Club.
That's what
I
I'm
had no
saying.
clue he
I
was
didn't
in the
know you
Glee
were-
Club.
I was in that joint.
Man.
Bro, so you did a Glee Club, you were the drama club
Did you do
and the choir?
Fame? I can live it forever.
Did you do all of
They
that?
did sing that. They did sing that. Now the thing with the Glee Club, I think I dabbled. Like I wasn't a full member because there were some people that just
Oh,
specialized
he
in it.
trying to clean it
But
up
like if
now.
they need extra, no, I'm not. I'm keeping a buck, keeping 100. But you know, if they needed some people like that could sing to fill in, I would go in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I dig it.
I didn't know. But I like Byron is saying, hearing your story, it makes sense because you can hear all this stuff in your music because you don't just rap in your music.
Yeah.
You put harmonies in your singing. And you like, I hear a whole lot of trap. Like, you sang. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm not saying like he's Luther Vandross singing, y'all, but you could tell he's experimenting, doing a lot of,
I was going to ask about that too. I was going to wait till we got to the music portion.
My fault, bro.
No. I'm just, we vibing, man. But I was listening to the latest track you got out, and I was listening to the background vocals. I'm like, was he singing on these background vocals? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like he was singing, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. So it's like to hear all of that, it makes sense. I never knew these things, man.
Yeah. So band, I'm guessing is what got you to Cookman. Okay, so band got you to Cookman, and if nobody knows about Bethune-Cookman's band, it's not sweet. Like it ain't like you can just walk up and just get into Cookman's band. So we are a 300 plus musician band. It's a lot of people on the field. There are a lot of spots. There are a lot of, if you've seen Drumline, it's a lot like that, but probably a lot more intense. Yeah.
There we go. Intense.
So what was that experience like? You coming and being a part of a band as big as Bethune's, but also as serious and intense as Bethune's band.
Yeah. It's definitely, I can't really say culture shock because my band director went to Bethune. So he prepped us in a mind state of what it would be like. I think the biggest challenge was just like, it was like a reset again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Freshman year, I kind of started off as one of the weakest players. I didn't make my instrument particularly. I wanted to play snare. And it just so happened that my specific year, like all the snare players were like stupid nasty.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about, it was like, they kept saying like, bro, this is one of the best snare classes we've ever had.
Who was there? Who was there when you were there? Like who was section leader of snares and all that?
It was Aaron Fields, Travis Mason, and then Dontavius, Seymour.
Yeah.
That's not his last name.
Pudge, Seymour.
That's his last name. Okay, yeah. Rick Oglesby.
Yeah.
All
on fire.
Michael Redding.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like, bro, everybody in my freshman class, James Scruggs, Donald Watts. These guys are actually professional drummers now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I'm competing with like not just college, if it was just a college line, I would have easily made the snare. These dudes are already professional. Like Snoopy Watts. But he was already endorsed by a simple company.
Right.
Us walking into college.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like stuff like that. I'm like, what the crap? But anyway, so it was just like, oh, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? I got to start from the bottom. But by that time, man, just like Mr. Wells, how he conducts the band, Mr. Ore, Mr. James Portier, and just the staff, man, like they really pull a lot out of you. The competitive edge, like you don't just walk on the field. If you're on the field, it's because you earned it, or we trust you enough to put you out there.
Yeah.
And so I credit a lot of my grind from a musician standpoint from Bethune-Cookman. We had limited resources, but maximum results. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and that's one thing I really credit to that band, man. So shout out to the Wildcats, man.
Yeah. You already know I get excited anytime we get a chance to talk about a band. And that was like some of the first conversations we had because I was a former drum major of the band and you were in the band at the time. So I know it's competitive and I can see how that rolls over into what you're doing now. And even then, like, you talk about coming into Bethune and having to compete in that way. When did you start competing from a music aspect, like from your artistry, your, what you do as a rapper?
Man, I mean, I came straight out the gate, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that and that's the cool thing. Like, so our class was so like talented. So we are all competing in different ways. So there were some people that marching snare, the marching band feel like that was kind of like their profession. And we weren't touching it. But when it came to the studio, they weren't touching me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
talk your talk.
Or when it came to the drum set, when it came to the drum set, we weren't touching that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was the cool thing about it. And so I think we all came in with that competitive edge of finding our uniqueness early. Because you found out everybody was talented, you're going to have to choose something because you ain't going to be good at everything around here.
Right.
But we got more than enough people that can step up in each thing. And so, so freshman year, man, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to rap and make music, and everything else, was provided from there, man.
I dig it.
So, you being at Cookman, didn't you release your debut? I wouldn't say debut album. I'll let you say that, but you released an album at Cookman, correct? Like how? So,
yeah.
Like how was that process? Like being, I can only imagine being in the Marching 100, then being a student. That's already enough stress in itself. So with all of that going on, you still found the time to not only be a rapper and drop an album, but you were dedicated to your church too. You played drums at your church, correct? At the same time.
Yeah.
So how did you manage all of that, and what was the process of going through releasing that album while still being a student?
Yeah, man, it was challenging. It was very challenging, and it taught me a lot about time management. You got so much stuff you got to practice. That was the thing. Like, being a music major is not just work. You feel me? Like, it's a lot of skill training that you can't put down on paper of how much hours it's going to take, because it varies from person to person. And me, I was I'm not a slow learner. I'm not going to say that. It's just I was surrounded by people that were just really superior at learning.
Yeah. I
felt like a slow learner, but now that I'm out, I'm like, no, I actually learn quite quicker than everybody that I meet. But being that, it was challenging, man. Trying to book studio time, we only had a limited amount of studios. We had one big one, which was really for the upperclassmen, senior projects. And then we had 119, you feel me? Like, that's just a studio room. It's only one. It's like 25 different music techs. My class hated me. I had that joint booked months in advance. I had the time filled out. You will not. That's why I'm talking about the competitive edge. I'm like, okay, you don't have to fight me for studio time because I'm trying to cut an album. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough, bro. It was tough, but man, glory to God, it got done. I would say it's my debut project because I feel like if I did a debut album now, you know what I'm saying, like a legit album, it would be a totally different perspective of who I am as an artist versus then.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
I dig it.
And that's why I'm gonna let you go. That's why I was weary of that, because I know you wouldn't deem that as your debut album, but that was a project that I know you worked hard on, and it was a good project.
Yeah, it was a great project. Yeah, both of us still have music from that project.
Yep.
So that's awesome, man.
Thank you, man.
I feel like we're a little biased, man, because we've known you for so long. But man, for the people who don't know you or maybe have just gotten onto you in the last few years, man, like, walk us through how you have kind of really made your way in this space of Christian hip hop. Like, how do you feel like you made your entrance, or do you feel like you've made your entrance?
Man, look, I'm kind of over the title, bro. I'm kind of over the genre talk because, like, at the end of the day, like, nothing has changed as far as my why of what I do. I think the only thing that's changed is the people with these platforms trying to determine what Christian hip hop is going to be from year to year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I don't know if I have, because I don't know what I'm in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I made my mark in the CHH, of which I was, kind of aiming for when I released On Fire, right? But this new, CHH, it's different. It's different, man. I keep it a buck. A lot of this stuff is going towards just, a lot of Christian artists just trying to look like the world, bro. I keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's comfortable in their own skin. They feel like they have to relate, but identify with. You know what I'm saying? And there's just a difference there. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to support someone, but it's another thing trying to become them. You know, and so anyway, man, I think I've done enough to gain respect from anyone that meets me, whether that's behind the scenes or on the track. But at this point, I don't even care. I don't. Like, I don't care no more. Like, I stopped caring like years ago, honestly, because
Stop caring.
Even when I meet my favorite artists, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Stop caring about the space or like the genre, or just stop caring about
people's perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, I stopped caring about people's perspective of where I'm at in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, that's what the EP, which we'll talk about, Nothing to Prove, kind of, spawned. Because I'm like, I don't care, man. I don't care if I have or have not, quote unquote, made it. Like, God just did something huge for me that no one would ever think would be possible. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's the God that I serve. That's the God that I make music for.
Yeah.
And so I'm just free, man. I'm just really free, bro. Like, so I'm sorry that's kind of like a cliffhanger like response, but it's just where I'm at.
Bro, that's not a cliffhanger.
I get it, bro. I get it. And if you watch our pod, man, I think we would agree with you on so many of those instances. Like, we feel some of those same frustrations. But at the end of the day, we have to walk back and say, like, man, who are we doing it for? Like, what are we doing it for? And who are we doing it for? So, man, I feel like there's so much more we need to get to. So let's just, man, two things. Well, I'll talk about what you do right now, and then Ty's gonna roll us into what you're about to be doing.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna put it out there. In this rap game, people treat rappers like, especially like CHH rappers, or let me stop using those terms because they're going to eat us up if I keep talking CHH. But a lot of the Christian artists that are out there, or artists who are Christian who are out there, they don't realize, man, we're regular people. We got regular jobs. We got families, all of that type stuff. And I respect what you do as a man, even if you weren't doing this particular thing, but I really think that more people should know what you do. You mentioned it in the beginning, but man, kind of walk us through West Virginia and you being on staff with the band at West Virginia. And I mean, y'all are a decent sized school, and y'all get TV time, and y'all get all of that. You're a part of that process, man. So tell us about that.
Also talk about the conflict of interest with him being a Wildcat and a Mountain.
Man, it's a different world. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh man, so yeah, man, it's a blessing, bro. Because I moved up here, I was doing a certain job, didn't like it, and God kind of had His hands on this position waiting for me, because the last person that was in it had it for 5 years. The person before that had it for 30. So like, the turnover for this position was very rare. Wow. And so that's how I knew God's hand was on it anyway. But anyway, the students are amazing, man. Shout out to WVU's, marching band. The Pride of WVU, and Pride of West Virginia, rather. Pride of West Virginia. And, bro, it's just been really a blessing to be a part of these kids' journeys from the other side, you know what I'm saying? Because being in the band, and now I'm kind of the administration side, and for me, I handle all the logistics there. So finances, receipts, reconciliations, logistics, travel, lodging, food, coordinating. Like, I do all that stuff for 300 and some people, like, pretty much every week.
Wow.
Yeah, and obviously the football games are fun. Get to be on the field and watch a D1 team, and the Big 12. You got Oklahoma, you got Texas. So it's some really cool, experiences that you get from it, man. So that's kind of my experience there at WVU, and just the staff, the School of Music, have just been so supportive of my career. Like, that's one thing that I cannot replace, is just having an employer that supports a job that has nothing to do with them, and they've showed me a lot of grace there. And that's one reason I'm so loyal to this program, is they just really respect what I do. And, but yeah, man, so that's the experience there at WVU.
Man, well, listen, I know that's a dope experience, and we want to thank you for sharing that. Now, the one thing we've all been waiting for, or at least me and Byron.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, because me and Byron are your homies, we saw something that you shared on, social media networks. This man, Lamar Riddick, is the first hip hop artist in the Army
No. Hold on. We're gonna run that back a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Because y'all need to know this. Look, I'm about to talk that talk a little bit. You know, anybody who has been a musician, anybody who's been a part of a marching band, they know that there are cream of the crop bands out there. And when you are a musician, you have heard or even thought about bands like the Air Force Band, the Navy Band, and the Army Band. Only the cream of the crop musicians make it into these bands. The people who will go into these bands are in these bands for years and years because their gifting is so high and they're so dedicated to this particular cause. And Lamar Riddick has become the very first hip hop artist that has not only been a part of the Army band, but if you can correct me if I'm wrong, a part of any military band. So somebody put your hands together and give them some props for that. That's what I want to hear.
Well, you should have introduced that. I'm sorry, sir. Hey, before you speak, my brother, I apologize for my lackluster, response. But he did a good job. So go ahead and talk on it, my brother.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys. So the Army Field Band, they have multiple genres. They have rock, country, classical. I think Latin is something that they're starting to. And so they wanted to expand their genres to reflect the country. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, we can't be sitting here saying we reflect America and not have hip hop, because it's it is the biggest genre right now, and so anyway, yeah. It's amazing, and actually the surprise is, I am one of the first. So because it was me and another guy, Nicholas Feemster, we both got selected, and that story is a miracle in itself because the Army, they only have one position, and when the government only got one position, that's it. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no negotiation, it's not like a regular job where you can that's it. But anyway, what ended up happening, man, me and Nick. Man, we just formed this bond, just over a couple of days through our audition process, helping each other, freestyling together, talking about our stories and journeys. And we was like, man, you know what, bro? It'd be dope to do this together. If they would somehow let us both in, bro. And so what ended up happening after a 8-hour deliberation, they thought we both did so well. They loved our chemistry and how we both brought unique things to the Army. They took away one of the other positions from another genre, and they made 2 available for us.
Oh wow.
Because they said our audition was, they said, the best audition they'd ever seen. We totally blew them out of the water. That's what they said to us.
Wow.
And anyway, they told us that they wanted us. Me and Nick were just out the roof because we didn't think that was possible. You know what I'm saying? And we prayed on it, and so now we're both the first, so it's accurate. Whether you say him or me, we are both the first, and so, yeah, man, it's amazing. God is good, man.
Shout out to Nicholas Feemster.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where is he from?
Yes, sir. He's from Maryland. Shout
out to Nick. Man, we are appreciative for you. We're happy for both of y'all.
So, I know you said you started in January, right? Well, basic training, you and Nick, y'all started in January, correct? So do you have any idea of what you may be doing? Any possible insight you could give us on what are you going to be doing, you and Nick, when you both started in January?
Cutting our hair.
That's what I was about to say. You gotta cut that hair off, buddy. Had that flat face.
Be out there looking clean.
Speaking of, your hair is extremely clean right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and show it.
Shout out to Jewel Thomas. She's the homegirl here in Morgantown. Hit her up for braids if you're ever in West Virginia. She's amazing. She can do anything. But yeah, so we definitely be getting our hair cut first. And then pretty much, physical training, artillery training, what I'm saying, how to use a firearm, stuff like that. Probably some of the chain of command things and infrastructure of the Army, how it works. They probably teach us all that stuff. And, it's funny, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm not really that worried about it because this is the one time in my life, probably since I was 8 years old, that I only had to focus on one thing.
That's fire.
You get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Like literally God is suspending all of my responsibilities, even down to the core of marriage. I won't be able to like call but like once a week, talk to my, you know, my wife, you know what I'm saying? But stripping everything away, right? Which I know is going to make me closer to him anyway. And I know me and Nick are going to be really close, you know what I'm saying? Because we get the privilege to go together, which is very rare. Once you are enlisted, they can ship you whenever, however.
Right.
So we had to go into a delayed entry program. We had to get letters from our employers. I had to go to the dean of the School of Music or dean of the Creative Arts Center to get a letter from him to the Army saying that they needed me to stay until January. Nick had to do the same thing with his employer. We had to give that stuff to our recruiters, 2 different chain of commands, and sync that up. And God worked it out so we both fly out together to the same place.
Wow.
So
praise God.
just that, God has just been all over this thing. But yeah, man, so stripping all those responsibilities away and going to basic training, it may feel more liberating than hindering for most people, you know, for me versus most people, because like I average on balancing like 6 things a day on average, you know, and so it's like all I gotta do is wake up and do what y'all tell me to do. I don't have to worry about coming home, trying to finish this song and prepare for that performance, and then set up the merch shop from 6 until 12 a.m., get my interns right, and I just got to do what y'all tell me to do. Get in shape, learn this information, and then I'm getting paid to rap.
So will you suspend?
You know?
Will you suspend your current career? Like, like, will you stop putting out music? Will you stop recording? Are you strictly gonna focus on your Army duties, or you know, like, what is that gonna look like?
Yeah, so when you're in basic, I ain't got no access to nothing. This is basic for like just being a soldier.
Oh, okay.
Right? And once you learn how to be a soldier, right, you graduate and then you do your special duty as a soldier. And that's what happens. So after we graduate, you know, we'll go to Maryland, and then that's when we'll start working on music and really getting into the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those 10 weeks I won't be doing no music. So I have to, you know, prep everything.
Well, hopefully they send you to Fort Benning.
Where's that?
Is that Georgia?
Georgia, yeah. Fort Benning.
No, we're going to Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Yeah, okay. All
Sweet
right.
home, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma's an interesting place. But yeah, cool. That's awesome, man.
For real?
I grew up in a military city, so I'm kind of familiar with a little bit of that stuff. I hadn't made it to the service, but
26.
Proud of you, man. Proud of you. We gotta salute you now, Officer Lamar Riddick.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. Do we have any closing remarks?
Yeah, no, we actually have like 1 or 2 more things to talk about. So we've talked about a lot about your life, but we haven't really talked about a lot of his music. Man, I've been listening to some of your newer stuff, and obviously I got some of your older stuff saved, but man, tell us about your current music, the stuff you have out, what people can listen to, what people should listen to.
Yeah, man. So we just released EP, Nothing to Prove. Obviously on all digital platforms for streaming. And yeah, man, it just came out of a place of, you know, just understanding that you're free when you realize you have nothing to prove except to God, you know? And it's just so liberating. You just be you. It's like, okay, I put this song out. Like even with the project itself, right? Because I was doing the Army process that I didn't reveal, I didn't really have a lot of time to promote and push it because I had the priorities, you know, but I'm like, yo, I don't got nothing to prove. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mean no deadlines. Like I can promote this whenever because there's always new people to listen to it. So the music will always be new to someone.
Yeah.
So like, you see what I'm saying? Just like that mindset of being free took a lot of pressure off me. So, like I'm gonna promote it before I go to basic. But yeah, that's the new EP, man. And yeah, you should listen to all of the songs.
Yeah.
Listen to all the songs, man.
On all streaming platforms, right?
Yes.
Okay, Nothing to Prove on all streaming platforms. If you are somebody who is a part of the Pastor Rapper family, go and stream that right now.
Right now.
Matter of fact, go just put it on repeat. You could first listen to it about 3 times and then put it on repeat, and then you can put it on mute or whatever you gotta do. But get them streams up, man. Get them streams to the place where they supposed to be, and not just because he's our homie, but because it's quality music. Like a lot of times y'all write in the comments that y'all want suggestions about Christian rappers, about rappers who have good content, rappers who love the Lord. This man is all 3 of those, and I love the project. I think it's a great project, man.
He has nothing to prove.
Thank you, man.
Nothing else to prove.
You got a little bit to prove. You got to go through basic training. You got something to prove.
He ain't got nothing to prove.
You could fail.
You missing. He got nothing to prove because God got him. I can't get no help in this church.
This ain't a church. So,
I can't get no help in this church.
Anyway, so last but not least, we're in Florida. We're sitting in a place that we're not even going to talk about where we're sitting, but we're in Daytona Beach, Florida, and you will be in Florida in about a week and a half, right?
Yes.
Man, tell us about performing at one of the biggest platforms for Christian hip hop artists ever in Flavor Fest. You'll be performing next Saturday or the Saturday of Flavor Fest. So tell us about that. Tell us how you got there and if you're excited and things that you're looking out for.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, man. So I've applied several times to perform. Never got selected, but I have attended a couple times. And it's been a beautiful experience. It's a big old workshop to build the body of Christ up and to, present knowledge too, just as an artist, how to navigate, the industry. And it's just always been so rejuvenating going. And to be able to be on stage next to some of my favorite artists and friends that I know now, it's amazing. And I understand God's timing now, because all this pressure, like a whole bunch of things that I wouldn't have been able to handle if I was given this platform even a year ago. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm ready now. Like I'm not nervous, nothing, because like God has put us through the ringer, man. Performing in abandoned buildings, performing in front of 2 people that one of them is drunk, other one's on the way. Performing in front of just so many people, and now to come to a place where people want to hear about the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like almost heaven. You feel me? Like, because most of the time I'm performing in areas where people may or may not believe in Jesus, which is where we're supposed to be. But it's always cool to come home to the church and do it, and everybody can be focused on the Lord as well. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to see y'all too, because I know Crew's gonna be there.
Yeah, man. But this ain't about us. This is about Lamar Riddick right now. You can catch Lamar Riddick October 7th, Tampa, Florida. The Flavor Fest. And just so y'all, for the people that don't know how big this fest is.
It's huge.
They have brought you artists such as KB. You would not know about KB if it wasn't for Flavor Fest and Pastor Tommy. Artists such as Social Club.
Yeah.
And many, many others. So many
more.
Big thing, man. So, hey, I'm happy to see my dog perform.
Yeah.
If y'all in the Tampa area, it was October 7th through the 9th, bro, ain't it? Yeah.
7th through the 10th.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
October 7th through the 10th. If you're in the Tampa, Florida area. And now it's not free, so go ahead and register. But if you want to pop up and see Lamar perform, go ahead and check that out, man.
And if you want to get in for free, just go to the door and tell them that you're a non-Christian, but you want to hear about Jesus for the first time, and I'm sure they'll let you in.
But make sure you do it on a Saturday night, because that's when Lamar performs.
But if you are a Christian and you're lying, then you got to deal with hilarious. The Lord. You're going to have something to prove to the Lord. But yeah, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure, brother. Man, we got love for you. We were happy that you jumped in with us on the last pod, but man, we wanted to just kind of give you your just due and give you space to talk about the things that are important to you. And it's still so much we didn't get to, like your wife and your family, and all that type stuff. But we're just happy to have you on. You're a friend to us, and we want to make sure that our friends, the friends of the podcast, know you well. So salute to you, my brother. Any last words?
You shouldn't be asking me that, Lamar. Is there anything that you want to get out before we end this podcast? Because again, it's about you, my brother. We give you your flowers right now. Anything you want to say?
Man, just thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been following, listening to you all, and that's been supporting me. It doesn't go unnoticed. Follow me on social media at Lamar Riddick Music, LamarRiddick. And would love to engage with you guys, man. But love y'all.
Hey, man, love you too. So, what I'm saying? It's another episode of He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper podcast featuring our brother, Lamar Riddick. We got Byron L. Cogdell on the podcast machine.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if you see my beautiful face or you want to continue to follow this beautiful face, you can follow me at I am Ty Van on all social media platforms.
Yes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe.
All three.
Do all that. It helps the algorithm. Get our subscribers up. Help us to get paid on YouTube. If you listen in the podcast land via iTunes, Apple Music, leave us a review. The more reviews you leave, you help people find us organically. You ain't got to pay us nothing. Just leave a review. People can find us. You know what I'm saying?
Social currency.
You know what I'm saying?
Digital currency.
Talk to these people.
Yeah, my name is Byron L. Cogdell on everything, literally everything. LinkedIn, Black Planet, MySpace, everything. I'm Byron L. Cogdell. That's just who I am. So you can follow me on any of those platforms. But if you don't want to follow me, that's fine. I just ask that you would follow Identity Daytona. That's the church that we get to serve. Identity Daytona on all social platforms. And don't forget, follow Lamar Riddick on all platforms. Lamar Riddick Music, and go stream his project, Nothing to Prove. All right, this is the He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper podcast, and I'm the rapper, he's the pastor. Amen.
Until next time.
I believe in the blood and living eternal. I tell you, oh God, it's the Bible. I hear a whole lot of yapping. I see a whole lot of capping. Gotta get free of this noose. I gotta go and get loose. I ain't got nothing to lose, so I ain't got nothing to prove.